In 2019, Netflix claimed that they perceive Fortnite as one of its greatest competitors. While to many people a claim like that might seem weird, I believe that it's totally justified. Inherently, it all comes down to our preferred way of spending free time. And with gaming industry growing rapidly in the last few years, quickly overshadowing revenue made by Hollywood music industry or even sports leagues, there is nothing unusual in the fact that more people prefer to play games over watching a TV series or a movie. Now the actual question is, why is that? What makes gaming more enticing than watching a movie? I am going to answer this question from my personal point of view. So just to be clear, I'm dropping all of the statistics at this point and I will draw from my own experiences. And before we start, a side note. It would be unfair to directly translate gaming industry's revenue into player count. You see, this industry is able to squeeze its consumers out of money easier than other business models. It happens thanks to microtransactions, gambling like loot boxes, various pre-order incentives, DLCs, and many other time savers or blunt pay-to-win mechanics. Solutions like that are not applicable in other industries in such an easy way. Gaming is getting mainstream. I noticed long time ago that whenever I have some free time, I tend to spend it gaming rather than watching a TV, Netflix series or some new movie that just came out. It's not like I don't enjoy movies, I just find games to be more engaging. And that's the first point in this discussion, engagement. I prefer to play games because even the most basic ones require actions from the player. There needs to be at least some decision making. It's a constant exercise for the brain while also being some sort of a relaxation. I would compare it to stretching, an activity that requires engagement from a person but at the same time helps to relax the muscles, makes them more flexible, which is healthy. Of course, there are games that are not relaxing at all. Horror franchises like Resident Evil or highly competitive titles like Dota, League of Legends or StarCraft. There is variety. Let's not forget that movies offer plenty of variety also. Netflix, HBO and other streaming services offer multiple genres of motion pictures. They can be engaging in how they depict the stories, how they comment on the current events, and how they invoke emotions. But I strongly believe that games can achieve the same things in much more impactful way. Mainly because player is placed directly inside the game's world and is given some agency as to what's happening on the screen. Player agency is important, and I believe that thanks to it, everything happening in-game is translated in a much more personal way to the player. Let's just circle back to variety. Both movies and video games offer a great range of products. Some of them more thought-provoking, some more light in terms of content. What I like about gaming's content diversity is an actual change of gameplay and the whole structure of the product. So we will play strategy games in much different way than, let's say, open world RPGs or racing games. It creates an environment where I am extremely excited and hyped each time I'm starting a new game. What new world will I discover? What gameplay mechanics and choices will be available for me in this new game? The whole industry also matured with time. Right now, players can find games that offer some funny, light-hearted stories. There are many puzzle games forcing our brains to work hard in order to solve their mysteries. Genres like roguelikes build upon our power fantasies. Then there are very serious games tackling important adult topics. Titles like Detroit Become Human or Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I very strongly believe that video games can be an art form in no lesser format than music or movies. I would even argue that thanks to inserting players directly inside those experiences, the messages and commentary hits much harder and on a more personal level. This is the next step in immersive storytelling. Of course, I understand that not everyone has time to play a 30-hour-long game. Movies offer a more condensed, focused experience. That's true. Listen, I'm not against movie industry, I just want to tell you why I prefer video games and why I believe that this industry will continue to grow in a faster manner than any other branches of entertainment business. Let's explore that condensed, focused storytelling of movies a little bit more. I like video games regardless of their runtime. Shorter ones can offer an intense story in the same vein that movies do, but the longer ones are a little bit like books. There's enough time to build up characters, to work with creating bonds between players and NPCs. There is a room for so much depth and intricacies. I love the fact that a game like Witcher 3 allows players to create connection to so many other characters, and then, when something big happens, you can see that your audience cares. Players that are not interested in exploring those stories can usually opt out of side content and chase only the main story, which also lets players to create their own fun. It gives control over the length of the experience. It's just a shame that so many publishers and developers use side content as a way of generic stretching of their game worlds and experiences instead of a way to create more meaningful content. We are slowly getting to the point where visually video games are getting really close to what we can observe in cinemas. Graphics come closer and closer to movie fidelity. Music made for games is on the same level as masterpieces created for Hollywood superproductions. I would even say that there is something less impressive in those still images, wallpapers that are presented in movies or even some games when we compare them to unexplorable pieces of terrain. Let me explain. So, here in Gears 5's DLC Hivebusters, we have this beautiful shot of a great tree in the distance. It's beautiful, but it does not carry the same weight as seeing a volcano in Breath of the Wild or even seeing the misty mountains of Far Cry 5's Hope County, because you know that this is actually a real part of the game's world that you can traverse and explore, which just creates such a strong, exciting feeling and gives the experience much more weight than any beautifully rendered landscape in a movie where I can't interact with it in any way. But maybe that's just me. You know, I believe that thanks to my rich history with gaming, my brain is conditioned to search for engagement and ways of controlling the experience. So that might be the reason why I prefer video games. That's an interesting topic for someone with a psychological background to attend to. I am a gamer since I turned 8. Since that time, as I was playing a lot of games, I got good in them, or at least decent. Now, I treat gaming not only as a means of escapism, but also as a way to challenge myself. I usually play on harder difficulties. I try to complete various achievements. Gaming can create a lot of obstacles and challenges for you to overcome. And that's great, it's one of my favorite parts of this hobby. And you know, those kind of activities can be attended by a single person or by many people. There are multiplayer titles, the whole esports scene and multiple communities spread across the world. Crazy nerds, dedicated fans. Gaming supports competitiveness and meeting new people. Corporations try to sell us on this weird idea of metaverse, that it's something new. Bitch please, this kind of thing was present in gaming space for years. MMOs, communities of multiplayer games. For me, games were a reliable place to meet with my friends. I played World of Warcraft for 12 years and I made an actual friendships thanks to this game. I met fantastic people that right now I consider as friends. That's amazing. So it might feel like I am berating any industry other than gaming industry. That's not my goal. I just want to tell you how I feel about gaming, to give you my point of view, which might be similar to other people's opinions. It might be part of the reason why this industry has seen so much growth in recent years, and I believe that it will continue to grow. Gaming for me is a passion, a way to challenge myself, a way of escaping the reality into the world where my choices actually matter. But most of all, it's a form of art. Hey, thank you for watching this video till the end. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing for more content. If you didn't enjoy it, then feel free to press thumbs down and let me know what you didn't like. Criticism is appreciated. My question to you after this video is: which way of spending free time do you prefer out of those two, movies or video games? And please tell me why. So that's all from me. Bye.